This episode of the Damage Guild podcast is sponsored by listeners like you. Join the guild at patreon.com/damageguild to receive exclusive perks, member rewards, and bonus content.
Last time on the Damage Guild podcast.
The rain here is disturbing the surface. The ground in front of you looks like it's more liquidy than the rest of the mud around here.
Is that quicksand?
Maybe you should test it.
So you start leading everyone around the mud puddle. Mr. Crowley starts cawing.
Creatures in the bushes up just ahead.
Draw steel, lads!
We have left Tebriel and Zara way behind us.
Out from behind two of the trees up ahead, you see these strange jackal-like creatures running towards you. They look kind of like dogs or jackals, except they have extra long, kind of rat-like tails, and they have stripes on their bodies, more like tigers.
Don't do what I just did.
And
if you double-click on enemies,
It tells you what it is.
it tells you what it
Okay.
is, and I did not want to know what it was.
Yeah, I just saw it too.
I thankfully don't recognize that name.
Yeah.
It is not something on the summon animal list that I'm aware of. Sorry, Thane. I wasn't trying to spoil it. I was trying to, target it.
so the first one rushes forward and lets out a terrifying howl with its wide, gaping jaws opening up, and it is demoralizing Kardain.
Ooh.
Is it like a scream or a cry that's just so otherworldly that it freaks me out? Because I feel like a normal jackal. Who cares? I've heard scarier things than that.
Well, it's more than its sound. Its jaw kind of opens up unnaturally large. It just looks like a very disturbing and ferocious creature.
Oh.
It succeeds in demoralizing you.
Oh, no.
So now you are frightened.
Kardain, no! We must demoralize him.
Oh, these things are freaky. Be careful. Actually, I'll stay here. And, Verrol, you and Stoke can go fight these things.
Yes, of course.
After it shouts at you, it kind of goes off to the side as if looking for a way to flank you or approach differently, while its friend runs forward.
And then it slips straight into the mud.
The second one attacks Kardain.
Oh, yeah, my shield wouldn't be raised anymore. So I already took my turn. No!
But it misses with its jaws. Zara?
Alright, since Zara is way in the back, she is going to start moving up, and she's going to start by moving 25 feet up. Would I be able to see the jackal creatures from here?
You can see the one that's off to the side, but not the one next to Kardain through the trees.
Okay, so I think I will just move up once, and then I'm going to cast needle darts at it. It's range 60 feet, so it's well within range. And needle darts, cold iron, just in case.
It's going to come up. If you keep shooting needle darts at things, eventually the cold iron's going to come up.
Yeah, that's my hope.
Well, it would have been relevant in the very first dungeon where you found it. But
Ooh, that's a 19 to hit.
hit.
Alright.
Nice.
And 3d4. Wow, 10 damage.
Ooh.
A 4, a 3, and a 3.
Whoa.
Not too shababski.
Sick.
The needles strike into the beast, and it whimpers and reels back.
Alright, that's my turn.
Nice.
Tebriel moves behind Zara, pulling his horse along with him, and kind of surrounds himself with the three big horses.
Master Starburn, make a circle of horses to protect yourself.
Already doing that. Verrol?
I will advance toward the nearby jackal creature and attempt to tumble through its square. That is a 17, and I failed.
Here is the picture.
Oh my.
Ooh. Yeah, it's like a big dog with pointy ears and sort of red-orange stripes and a rat tail.
Yeah, the rat tail is throwing me off.
Yeah.
It's got a mane.
Yeah, it looks like a rat tiger dog.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, is that like a...
Yeah, the rat tiger
rat tiger
dog.
dog.
Yeah,
Yeah,
of course. Listeners, you know exactly what that looks like.
Alright, so I did gain panache from even the failure. So I'll take a swing at this guy. Alright, I missed with a 12 on my attack. So I think the only thing to do now is to finish her. And I will give that a shot too. Wow, critical miss. with a 5.
Is that the one case where it doesn't deal any damage at all, even with the perfect finisher? No!
Yes, indeed. Wow, that's really bad.
So sad.
Just rolled an 8 and a 3 on the d20s. And that is my turn.
You're having a hard time maneuvering through this mud. Kardain?
I'm just trying to guess if they'd be weak to some of the cantrips I've prepped today. I don't think so. I think I just want to be efficient. Probably getting the dog going would be wise, right? Okay, so I'll set the statue down and come alive. I don't know, whatever the magic word is, I say it.
Galamparuntal.
Yep. Flimurandolo.
Flimurandorest. Galamparuntal and...
I can never remember the third one.
Rats.
I mean, this sounds familiar, but where did this come from?
The folding
boat from our old campaign before the podcast.
Yeah, remember, I gave you the magic item, and there are 3 modes for it, and I actually gave you what the magic words were for those 3 modes, so you had to remember them in order to activate it.
Yeah.
Oh, I just remembered why I want to use the dog or do something else. I have a bunch of debuffs.
Yes, you do.
I think I would rather have the dog fight for me.
Yeah, I think so.
So I will bring out the dog.
Bring out the dog.
Is there anything special I need to do, Thane?
Well, also, shouldn't Frightened have gone down at the end of your... Or no.
At the end of his turn.
At the end of this turn, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I can throw out some cantrips when the debuff is gone, right? Like,
yeah, but for right now...
A -1 matters a lot right now. We're not very accurate, you and I.
Just toss the dog.
Yeah, so I toss out the dog.
Activating the dog would be an action.
Well, so Braun handed me the dog, so I don't have to, spend an action to get it out or anything. And then, I thought it was 2 actions to get the dog going.
It was 1 to fetch it out.
Should be, yeah.
Or to put it down.
Probably an interact action, right?
Well, but Braun put the dog into my hand.
Yeah.
So then it's only 1 action.
That's the 2 that you're thinking.
Yeah, that's the whole reason you gave it to him, was to save yourself an action, right?
All right, so I'd like to activate the dog.
Oh wait, it is 2 actions to activate it.
Yeah, I thought so.
Weird.
Which is on par with... It's slightly better than the summon a dog spell, right? Because you don't have to activate it immediately. I'm probably going to spend my whole turn doing this, right? 2 actions to activate, 1 action to command the dog if I want to actually benefit from it this turn. So it is still my whole turn, probably.
Well, Brown saved you, still saved you an action.
Yeah. So it's 2 to place and then your 3rd action to command.
Yeah, I'll place it in front of myself.
You call forth the dog, and as you place it on the ground and say the magical words, it grows into a full-size black dog, which looks at you obedient.
That's awesome.
Sweet.
But what kind of dog is it?
An onyx dog.
It looks like a beagle, maybe?
Yeah, it does look like a beagle.
It looks like a Monopoly piece the more I look at it. It really does. You can double click on it, guys, and get more. That's what it actually looks like. Do you guys see?
Oh, yeah. It does look like a Monopoly piece.
Yeah.
It's like a Monopoly piece. Oh, man. Oh, he's got pack attack. Interesting. I should probably flank with Verrol then, with the dog.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
Totes.
The dog moves around to flank, and...
Pack tactics, I think, is next to each other as opposed to flanking.
Well, no. You're all thinking of D&D.
That's in 5e.
Remember,
Yes.
This is a different game.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, how does pack tactics work in Pathfinder?
The dog deals extra damage to creatures within the reach of at least 2 of its allies.
Oh.
So,
Which
with
is-
Kardain and Verrol next to the enemy, he'll deal extra damage.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Sweet.
All right, here we go.
That was a natural 20,
Ooh.
so the dog
yes.
gets a critical hit.
Ah, wow.
Critical dog. All right.
Sweet. With extra damage, too.
Oh, I rolled minimum.
So it dealt 4 damage.
You also didn't do the pack attack as part of it, so that's supposed to be doubled as well.
Can I just roll another D4?
Yeah, then we'll double that.
Ooh.
There we
that one's
go.
a 4.
Wow.
Alright,
Wow.
so the dog gets a critical hit for 12 points of damage.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, I think at this point we need to name the dog. So, Kardain.
Yeah, we got to name
Yes.
the dog.
What is its name?
These names are terrible. I'm using a generator right now.
Didn't we talk about names last time?
No, we didn't name the dog. We named
No, the dog. I think that even the dog we named.
I
Or
don't
we
think
didn't
we
name it, but we talked about names. Because I remember, not that it was a good name, but I remember suggesting Captain Blackbones.
Oh, well then it's already been named.
I don't think we settled on something, though.
We didn't settle on that. It was just a suggestion I made.
Well, I like it because it's it's an onyx dog, so it could be midnight.
That's
It
true.
could be like midnight, or to be like, what was the one you came up with?
Captain Blackbones.
Captain Blackbones.
Captain Blackbones.
dogs.
Because dogs like bones, and bones are also a pirate thing, so it's like a dog-pirate crossover theme name.
Well, I'm very impressed by the dog, and I give him some verbal encouragement. Good job. Give him 1-4 for me.
You could do Hershey.
Hershey pup?
Hershey's Special Dark, it would have to be.
Yeah.
It's like super.
While you're trying to think of a name for the dog, Stoke moves up, goes past Verrol and Kardain to get into position, and attacks the creature. He just takes his axe and cuts it cleanly in two. He dealt 24 points of damage with the critical.
Oh my gosh.
Good old
classic
Stoke.
Never fails.
That was, max damage on the crit.
Wow.
Doesn't get much stokier than that.
And then he's going to raise a shield.
I would like to motion for all of us to just retire our characters and only play Stoke. All three of us.
I think so.
Give him all of our equipment and money.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just play the rest of the campaign if Stoke was on a solo adventure.
Yep.
I think we should just make like a carriage or a sleigh or a travail and just all sit on it and let Stoke be like our pack horse and just pull us through the world slaying monsters while we just sit back and watch.
And sip lemonade that your servants have made for you.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty good, Verrol.
That would be the life. Why do things when you can pay people to do them for you? That's what my grandfather always says.
The remaining creature is already badly wounded from the spell earlier, so seeing what just happened to its friend, it decides to howl and then run away.
Haha.
Yeah.
Yes. I feel like we finally had a decisive victory against an opponent.
Maybe it's because these jackal creatures mate for life and we just killed its lifelong companion.
Oh, well, now I just feel bad.
Oh my gosh.
And just send it into a deep depression.
This is like what you guys are doing with the squirp and the centipede.
The centipede, yeah.
Are they always going to be
like life partners?
Yeah.
Definitely. It gives the fight real stakes.
Gives it some emotional weight.
Yeah.
well, don't celebrate just yet, guys. We have to make sure that the coast is actually clear.
You're right, Master Kardain. We're still in initiative. This is clearly not over.
It is Zara's turn if you want to try to take a pot shot at it as it runs away, but otherwise we can just leave combat.
Yeah, I mean, it's already quite a ways away. That's 110 feet.
110 feet.
110.
So, I mean, and plus I haven't seen where the mud pit is, so if I ran straight forward, I would just fall into it. So I'm just going to let it go.
Oh, yes.
I'm a little sad that combat didn't go a little longer because I did spend the conductive weapon. But
yeah.
I don't know. You can't know how intense it's going to be, and it just was like efficient. Jay was right there.
Got good rolls.
Made sense. It's my fault I didn't hit with it.
That's okay.
Next time.
There will be spells that we feel like are wasted, and then we'll rethink prepping them again in the future. And the distance of the dogs, even if you had hit or crit, they were too far away. I was measuring it. They were 15 feet. They have to be 10 feet next to each other for you to arc lightning.
Shucks.
So it wouldn't have been sweet even if you had crit.
Well, thank you for the vote of confidence.
Yeah, don't mention it.
Well, shall we loot the body?
Yeah. Is there anything on it? Just it's kind of a smelly, freakish rat dog.
Freakish rat dog corpse.
Wait a minute. You guys remember how I was kind of disappointed we never found a sample to bring to Dervin? What if we take this one apart and bring him some of the weirdest features about it?
Yes, roadkill meat. I'm sure Dervin would greatly enjoy that.
Well, I just want to show him how weird and twisted things are getting, right? And if I can bring him a sample.
That's true. Is it possible to capture some of the flora around here?
I mean, whatever would be best.
I just imagine that carrying some extra branches or twigs might be slightly less of an encumbrance than carrying around half a dead dog.
Well, but he might be able to do more tests on, like, a creature versus plants, right?
That's true.
Whatever you think best, I'd just prefer to get moving.
Stoke, you want to help me? You've cleaned animals, right?
I'm a decent hunter. I've had my share of cleaning up kills.
I think this would be a really nice rug to put in my cabin. So, why don't we pull it apart, have stuff to show Dervin, and a new rug?
It's a win-win.
And Kardain's going to toss the animal over his shoulders.
Nice.
You could probably load that onto one of the horses.
Oh, yeah, that seems way more
Good idea.
efficient.
Much more efficient, yeah.
Yeah, we'll put the body on a horse. Don't be freaked out, horsey. The horse is just like, whoa.
So you carefully continue on past the sinkhole.
What if we sent the dog into the sinkhole just to see? Just out of curiosity.
We'd probably lose the dog.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I should turn the dog back into a statue.
Yeah.
And I hand it back to Braun. Thanks, buddy.
Is that a once-a-day thing? I forget.
I don't know.
Yeah, you haven't fully identified it, so you don't know all of its details.
It might be one of those things where you can keep using it until it's destroyed, and then maybe if it gets killed in combat, it's just shattered.
So you continue onward, and as you make your way out of the twisted lands nearest to the cave and re-enter a more normal section of the forest, you still catch occasional glimpses of unnaturally large and sometimes deformed creatures around you. A colony of ants the size of small dogs busily harvesting fungus from a rotting log.
Ooh.
Foot-long maggots devouring the remains of some dead animal. A giant rabbit with a few too many ears.
Oh, man.
Fortunately, none of them seem inclined to approach your group.
Maybe they smell the tiger rat.
Yeah, could be. Either way, I'm glad for that.
Oh, should we pick exploration? I'd love to go back to seeking. That was awesome that it avoided the mud pit.
Yeah, that was very handy.
Yeah. I'll scout.
I was definitely expecting the first person to step in it, but you just barely were able to find it.
Oh, just barely identified it.
Phew.
So I'll send Mr. Crowley ahead again to scout and just have him come back.
Okay, so you resume your activities.
Zara, don't you think that's cruel in this rough rain to have him flying around?
Oh, he's used to it.
Is this a thunderstorm or...
There hasn't been any lightning yet, just lots of heavy rain.
Oh, okay. That's not that bad.
Yeah, he'll be fine. He does what I tell him to do.
There's an old saying like, water off a crow's back, I believe. That's how it goes.
Raven, yes.
Yes. Like water off a raven's back.
Why did you name him Mr. Crowley?
For this exact reason.
Yep.
All right. We carry on.
I thought it was to reference the music reference.
No, it's specifically because he's a raven and his name's Mr. Crowley.
Yeah.
Just to confuse people.
But I can't help but think of the song.
I don't know the song.
What?
What song?
I made a reference to it way earlier in the podcast, and now I know why you guys kind of didn't have any reaction at all. Mr. Crowley.
I don't know that. What is it?
Well, no.
That's Ozzy Osbourne.
Oh, really? I had no
Yeah,
idea.
this whole time, dude. There's going to be so many listeners that are like thinking you're an Ozzy Osbourne fan. Well, I have dismissed that. Brian is not a fan.
Yep, apparently.
Wow, I literally just typed Mr. Crowley into Google and Ozzy Osbourne came up.
The first one.
Yeah, all the entries.
That's so funny, Brian. You picked it to confuse people.
I never thought to Google his name before I named him.
I thought like you were making a reference to the song.
Well, that's perfect. What's the meaning behind the song Mr. Crowley? It's about a man named Aleister Crowley who practiced black magic and the occult.
Wow, nice. Amazing.
It's an unintentional reference.
Yeah, Brian, you have to listen to the song now.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah, Mr. Crowley, did you talk to the dead?
That's amazing.
I thought it was apt because I know some of the content of the song. I thought it was an apt. I was like, that's a cool name for a Raven familiar.
It's amazing.
Dude.
This whole time.
Just pretend it was all part of the plan.
Yep, sure was.
Yeah. You can just delete this whole diatribe, Jay, and Brian stays super cultured.
Nailed it.
Or leave this in because it's funny.
Yeah, question is, how many of our listeners were actually alive in 1981 when that song came out?
Probably very few.
Right.
I mean, how many of us were?
I don't think any of us were either.
No.
I might know about it from something stupid like Guitar Hero. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Oh, fair enough.
All right. We keep traveling.
So you resume traveling. The day eventually passes. You spend the night, and by the following morning, the rain has let up. Everything is still wet, but it's not raining anymore. You eventually, after another half day or so, arrive safely back at Fosdale.
Ah,
Huzzah.
the Fossy Foss. Or the Foss, as we like to call it.
Oh, the locals call it the Foss. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
So, what would you like to do?
Well, I suppose we ought to return to our respective abodes and freshen up from the journey.
I believe everyone was staying in the guest houses. over at Zara's place?
Not I.
I believe... Did I eventually extend that offer to Kardain?
It was at least offered, I don't remember.
It was offered, but I believe I've maintained my temporary residence at the Arms.
So, maybe it was just Kardain that was staying there?
Yeah.
It's nice to have a place to stay besides the cabin.
Or the stables.
Well, nevertheless, you are all welcome to stay at the Ebonvale estate, if you wish.
Oh, thank you, my lady.
Mr. Verrol and Stoke, will you be joining us?
Thank you, but no. I prefer to maintain my base of operations at the Arms. It's a place where the local gossip is bandied about, and I prefer to remain there.
And unfortunately, my lady, I must accompany him.
Yes, of course. Well, unfortunate for you, perhaps, to not be in my presence, but yes, very well.
You should be checking on Arath. Maybe I'll drop in and give him a surprise visit, making sure he's not having too much fun in my absence.
Making sure he's not wearing any clean boots, perhaps.
Right.
Listen, friends, before we part ways, you both are well-connected, you'd say?
I would say that. Actually, my friends tell me that.
Yes, Lady Zara, who are all these friends to whom you so frequently refer?
You know, all my friends about town.
Yes, forgive me, I was simply unaware that friends were in the repertoire of one such as yourself.
And what is that to mean, Mr. Verrol?
Perhaps it's just that you've referenced these quote-unquote friends so often, and yet I've yet to see one.
Yes, well, they exist.
If you say so.
In fact, my friends tell me that they exist. So there.
I see.
Those kind of friends.
That sheds a new light on it.
Mr. Crowley speaks up and says,
Don't disparage my master. She has many friends.
Thank you, Mr. Crowley, yes.
I'm certain she does.
See, now that he says so, it's obviously the truth.
So, listen, I didn't want to bring this up while we were still together, Stoke. Okay, listen, you and I were great buds. I really enjoyed you and I working on the cage. But let's face it, neither of us knew what we were doing. So, Verrol, Zara, Tebriel, and anybody, I need you to get me in touch with a carpenter. Anybody know one?
Lord Ebonvale, I'm sure, would have a list of carpenters he could refer you to.
Yeah, I imagine Zara might know some through her father.
Yeah, that sounds good. I'm going to go with that.
As for myself, I shall be retiring to my room. I believe Arath owes me a foot massage or two. And I shall rejoin you at the Ebonvale estate.
You have like those little coupons.
Yeah.
That he got you for his birthday.
No, Arath has the coupons that say I don't have to give you a foot massage this time.
Okay, does he hand you one of those?
Yeah, he got one for Christmas last year, and he used it already. So he's in for it.
Master, I believe that you should have a bath first before the foot massage.
No, I prefer to be massaged first so I can get relaxed from my bath. What time of day is it?
It's late afternoon.
Okay. Perhaps we shall reconvene on the morrow.
That sounds good, Verrol. Yes.
Yes, I think tomorrow morning.
Very good.
Don't want to delay. Zara, if it's not too forward of me to ask for your father's help.
I thought for a second you were going to ask for my father's hand. I mean, ask for my hand from my
That's
father.
exactly what I thought. It's not too forward to ask for your father's hand in marriage. I know we barely know each other, but
We've had absolutely no inkling of any kind of chemistry between us whatsoever. But if you
we've
insist.
barely spoken a word to one another.
But yeah, only the finest carpenter of Fosdale will do. Because this thing I want is pretty complicated.
Okay, yes. Come back to the estate, and we'll speak to him post haste.
Oh, and the carcass is coming with me.
Well, okay. I don't know that you're allowed to just force that upon my family, but why don't you leave it on the grounds, and we'll take care of it later.
You just tuck it into bed in the guest house.
I mean, Zara, I do intend to report the findings of the freakish creatures to Dervin and the Grove Tenders. I can't not have this bloody, smelly, dead tiger dog beast with some rat-like features. This is important evidence. You like evidence.
You can't not have this. What are you, insane?
I don't understand what the problem is with me getting the contact from your dad and having my kill. Can you please explain?
I'm not one for all these highbrow interactions.
She sighs. She just says, just leave it on the front grounds, and we'll pick it up after we speak with my father.
But it'll get all wet and rainy and muddy out there. You have to tuck it into bed for safekeeping.
All right. I'll put Braun in charge of guarding the body.
Tiger, rat, dog.
And I will cover it with a blanket.
Okay. Tuck it into bed.
When you go in the morning, Kardain's just sleeping like with his arm around it.
Nobody gets to my kill. I know you rich folk are so
covetous of the rare furs.
Yes. Well, I was going to say A-type or clean freaks, so they won't let me have a dead body on the grounds. That's what I think.
Well, nevertheless, let's reconvene in the morning. Verrol, you and your men can come to the estate whenever you're ready.
Very good. We shall impose for breakfast. Actually, we'll act like we didn't show up for breakfast, and then when your father invites us, we shall say yes. Just to let you know the plan. See you tomorrow.
Very good. So we head back to the estate. I kindly request Kardain to leave the rat, dog, tiger carcass out on the front grounds, and then we head inside.
Okay, but I am going to cover it, and Braun's going to watch over it so that nobody gets it.
Nope. Yes, very well.
Nobody tries to throw it in the trash.
He can turn himself into a bush to camouflage its presence.
Oh, yeah, he should probably become a bush, because I'm not there to introduce him, and they might be freaked out. Yeah, do your bush thing.
Does he have that ability today?
Oh, I don't have that ability right now. But, like, come on. No, that's, yeah. No, I'm going to have him stand on top of the corpse.
With his arms crossed.
On the blanket.
Just, like, territorially.
Okay. So you arrive at the estate, you head inside?
Yep, we head inside, fetch one of the servants, and say, I'd like to speak to Father, please.
He's been rather busy lately, but I'm sure I can make an appointment in another hour or so.
Ah, yes. Well, I should be able to go in and speak to my father directly, but yes, I suppose this is the way it works.
Protocols must be followed.
Yeah.
No exceptions.
It is good to be home nonetheless.
Zara, I can't imagine having parental time scheduled. It was never like that for me.
We have many differences, you and I, don't we?
I suppose so.
I, for one, am a cultured person.
What are you talking about? And Kardain looks about himself. I've got plenty of culture right here.
Culture for a petri dish.
Right. Exactly.
As he brushes dirt onto the floor.
Yeah.
I scrape some culture off
my arm. Let's go have a meal.
Oh, yeah. We should definitely give to the kitchen some of these tomatoes we've still got. They're going to go bad.
Yes, good idea.
So I'll unload the tomatoes to the kitchen staff and see if they can do something with them. A little tomato tartare.
Okay. So you have a meal, and about an hour later, you receive a call into his office. So you're going to meet with Dorian Evanvale?
Yes.
He looks up and says, "It's good to see you back. How did things go? Did you find what you were looking for?"
Things went very well indeed. We did discover what I believe to be the source of this green liquid that is flowing out into the river and affecting our town.
Excellent. You found the source. So did you determine if it's dangerous?
We do believe it's dangerous, and we also found a way to divert the flow of this foul stuff, but I'm afraid we'll need to go back to complete the job.
You didn't complete the job while you were there?
Well...
He looks kind of like disbelieving.
Yeah.
It was more complicated. Listen, there's a balance to things, as you know.
Yes, the issue is if we divert the flow the opposite direction, we just don't know what impact that could have on the other region that it goes to. So we wouldn't want to jeopardize another town full of people, would we?
The other region, you mean the Northern Valley?
Yes, across the mountains.
Across the mountains?
Yes.
You believe that this flows to the others?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, we were really up there in the mountains, and we partially diverted the flow, right? That was the decision, Zara, that it was basically 50-50 back to us. We didn't want the grove to stop growing. That's what it was.
Yes, that is part of the issue. We believe that if we stopped the flow altogether, that these herbs that are growing out in the grove might die off. And I knew that you had a vested interest in these herbs for business purposes.
So you thought that this dangerous substance in the water was dangerous where it is, but less so here, and you wanted to ensure that we could keep on receiving some supply, but not enough to cause problems?
Yes, that's exactly it.
Are you certain that you have accomplished this?
There's a lot of problems, to be honest with you. We fought a lot of big... I could go get the body. We brought one with us if you want to see it.
No. That won't be necessary.
Remember the huge fly, Zara?
Yes, of course. Yeah, there were many mutated beasts that we fought in, both in those caves and in the wilds leading up to it. So I have reason to believe that this foul substance is causing these mutations. By diverting only part of the flow here, it should keep our town relatively safe while we have more time to study it and understand what this source is and what's on the other side of the mountain.
You say that so casually. No one has been to the other side of the mountain and returned.
That's why we didn't divert the whole thing over the mountain. That way, its effects will be slow, and hopefully other nations outside of the valley will have time to adjust and may not even notice for weeks. It seemed like it could keep balance. We didn't have a way to stop the flow entirely. Of course we would have.
The other complication, if I may, Father, is that, yes, it is potentially causing these herbs to grow, and yet at the same time, it's also a dangerous substance flowing straight down the river. It's both a good and a bad thing. I wasn't sure what to do.
Fortunately, we have Warden technology purifying our water for drinking, so that should not be an issue for us.
That is true.
Oh, that's good to know. Maybe we shouldn't have sent it across the mountain at all. Did we know that?
You probably didn't.
Kardain looks over at you, and then back to the Lord,
I don't know if I knew that.
Zara would have known, but I don't think anyone else here would have. It's just kind of one of those things. There's all sorts of Warden technology that does things in the background that you just kind of take for granted.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else?
What?
Any other Warden technology?
Any other technology that Fosdale uses?
Most of our more advanced technology comes from that period. The mills are left over from then. I mean, this was always a small town without too much as far as fancy technology goes. But there are a few traces here and there. Even most of the buildings here are from before that period, and you probably couldn't find skilled workers who could construct things at this level today.
That reminds me. Zara, you said your dad might know a carpenter.
Yes, that's right. Father, would you happen to know any skilled carpenters in town?
Yes, I've made business arrangements with several in the past.
Could you get me a discount?
Well, pardon my friend's impertinence here. I simply wish to ask if we might speak to one and see if he could help us out with a small task.
Yeah, it's really small.
Yes, I can refer you to a journeyman that I know of.
Very well.
Oh, thank you so much. I knew I made a good choice saying that I'd watch over your grove.
Is there anything else that you care to discuss with me?
I feel like maybe we need more time to sit down and talk about these things. I feel like there's more to discuss than just the slime flow.
Yes, let's continue talking about that later. For right now, I want to be respectful of my father's time. Father, I do have one more thing, but it is a private matter. Kardain, could you give us a moment?
Yeah, did you give me the name of the carpenter?
Yeah, he'll give you a name and location in the town.
Ah, perfect. Okay.
I believe it was Wood. Chuck Wood. Charles Wood. Chuck Wood for short.
Charles Wood, Woodchucker.
Yeah. What's the name of this carpenter?
I told you, it's Chuck.
Random name generator.
I have a name. It's a good one.
I gotta have his name. I can't just go mulling around town without any aim at all. Zara, I understand you want to spend some daddy time, but I need to know where I'm going.
His name is Ryan Terrell.
Ryan Terrell. Okay, that's where I'll be going. And I'll see you guys later. Oh, and listen, don't throw away the dead body.
All right, Kardain, yes, go see the journeyman.
Okay.
Good luck.
I expect that to still be there.
Let us know how that goes.
I'll see you all later. And
Thank you, and I close the door.
you close you close my finger in the door mid-sentence.
He's still talking to us through the closed door. Father, the other interesting thing was this source of the green substance flowing into our river. It came from the foot of a statue. It appeared to be a dwarven statue, dwarven figure, large dwarf, larger than life size. And there was some strange writing around the base.
You hear echoing in the ethers of your memory, Kardain's voice saying, Mingoldar.
Yes, we were able to read the script, and it read Mingoldar. And we believe this to possibly be one of the ley lines?
Mingoldar is a familiar name. It was one of the wardens in charge of that area of the mountains.
Okay.
Oh, it's a mountain warden, not the valley.
Well, that sort of makes sense.
So we don't know the
because
valley.
It was in the, this cave system was in the mountains.
I'm not too familiar on the details of who Mingoldar was. I never studied that in particular, but perhaps you could find some references in the library.
Yes, I will certainly plan to search there. The other odd thing was that this room was set up so that the green substance could flow in one of two directions, and it appeared as though someone had wedged a piece of wood in the one channel so that it only flowed toward Fossdale. I found that most strange.
Indeed, that is troubling.
It was as if someone had already been there before us and was purposely trying to divert it towards us.
Do you suspect some form of sabotage?
I do, but can you think of anyone who would want to sabotage our whole town like that?
There are those here who have many enemies, but I cannot say who might have done this. It could have been anyone. If you think that the other path led to the opposite side of the mountains, then it honestly could have been some unknown being from the other lands.
Yes, I suppose that if it was designed to flow in both directions, I wonder if the magic of the ley line was somehow corrupted and this person came and diverted the flow so that it wouldn't affect them anymore on the other side.
That sounds like a logical path of reasoning to go down. You have always loved this sort of study. It's never exactly been my forte. I will leave you to your surmisings and interest there, and feel free to research whatever you can with our library and other resources.
Very well, Father. I won't take any more of your time. I'll do some research into this and see what I can find and report back.
Very good. And if you would send in the next people on your way out.
Yes, of course. She bows and heads out and closes the door behind her.
Meanwhile...
So as we're headed back to the Anves Arms, I nudge Stoke and I'm like, we'd better take a two-pronged attack if we're going to get the drop on him. Why don't you take the window and I'll take the door?
Always one for practical jokes, aren't you, sir?
You know me, Stoke. I would better make sure he's not having too much fun without us.
You are going to go in the door and up the stairs, right? You're not just going out the back of the building and trying to run away again.
No, this time I'm with you. And matter of fact, you climb up, wait outside the window, and wait for my signal. Once I barge in the door, you come in the other way. One of the two of us will nab him soon enough. And then it's noogie and wedgie time.
You're also going to give him some swirlies?
Swirlies if the occasion calls for it.
Oh, wait a minute. Swirlies would have been terrible before indoor plumbing.
Oh, yes. Swirlies in the chamber pot.
But in order to make it a swirly, you have to hold them upside down and then rotate the person.
Yeah.
Like really fast.
Rotate the
You just run around in
or
circles.
spin the bowl, and that could be problematic.
I don't think you're going to give him a swirly. Medieval style swirly.
Yeah. All right, so I try to unlock the door as quietly as I can.
Let's make it an atomic wedgie, shall we?
Yeah, after we drop the horses off with the valet at the stables. And I'll give an extra few moments for Stoke to climb the outside of the building. Then as soon as the door is unlocked, I'll barge it open and look for Arath around the room.
Okay, Arath jumps in mild surprise. You see him sitting at his desk. He's working on some papers.
Ha! There you are. Come here, you rapscallion.
Master, yes. good to see you've returned. And Stoke then bursts in through the window.
Together we chase after him and tackle him to the ground.
Aerith doesn't put up much of a resistance, and when
He's used to it.
lying flat on his back, being held down under both of your weight.
I take either his jacket or his tunic and lift it up and fold it over his head, or like so it's covering his face. And then I stand him up and spin him around like 5 times and then push him across the room.
And then pants him.
Pants him and then shove him down. And then I pull off my boots, chuck him in the corner, and then I pull up a chair to his desk and put my feet up on where he's been writing. And I have him massage my feet at the same time that I'm dictating a letter to my grandfather for him to write.
Oh my gosh. Are you making up for lost time?
Yeah, of course. He's had it easy these past few days.
Can't let them get soft.
So, Aerith.
Aerith fixes his clothes and sees you put your feet up on the desk. And he says, "Sir, please, I have many important documents there."
Ah, yes. How's the business been going? Have you seen eye to eye with Lord Ebonvale?
I have had a few discussions with him. Mostly I've been making other arrangements.
Such as?
Well, fortunately, Fosdale is well known for its woodworking, so I was easily able to contract a few carpenters for the design and construction of the building, fences, and furniture.
Ah, wonderful.
I visited the site with the most experienced one yesterday in order to allow him to survey the area, determine costs, and begin the design process.
Excellent.
I have not as yet found anyone to work the field, but I should be able to soon. There are many experienced herbalists and woodsmen in this town. The trouble is simply in finding some who would be willing to move out to the area to tend it.
So there are. Well, I'm certain once they meet Master Kardain, they will be jumping at the chance.
Well, I certainly hope so. He does seem experienced.
Indeed. If one does not have a love of herbs, one need only speak to him for a short time. They will find themselves unable to resist.
That is one way to put it.
Very good. On the travel front, I fill him in on what we found, the whole shebang. I'll tell him everything about the ley line, about the magic, about the stream. And then I take out the cloth from the tattered clothing.
Stoke interjects a few times as you're telling the story and make sure to correct details here and there. And
Oh, yeah,
don't forget Thorberf.
Yes, definitely tell him about Thorberf, our newest friend. And I pull out the tattered clothing and I say, you don't happen to know where we might find a seamstress? Or if it's a man, a seamster, I believe, is the
Taylor?
correct term. Yes.
Yes. Oh, that is his name, yes.
Taylor. Yes, Taylor the seamster.
Yes, I believe there was one somewhere in town. Let's see. Over at Fosdale Fabrics, I believe, was the name of the store.
Ah, alliteration. Love it. I shall go seek them out, perhaps tomorrow. And then I'll dictate that letter. I'll just sort of paraphrase it. My dearest Lord Josco, I tell him what's been going on, what we found with the ley line, and then I'm basically asking him for permission if duty calls and we need to be away from town. I say basically I know it'll take away from my main mission, from the main task at hand, but we feel that this business might be affected by the state of the ley line juice, the green magic juice, and we think it might be worth it to go track the other stream over the mountain and see what is over there. And I, of course, fill the letter with promises of, hey, maybe if there's more territory to acquire and more resources, that might be good from a business perspective as well.
So when you start talking about going across the mountain, Aerith pauses and he says, Master Verrol, you're not seriously considering attempting to cross the mountain range, are you?
Unfortunately, my friend, I am.
You're not thinking about bringing me across there, are you?
Oh, no. No, definitely not. You would be here as, again, my liaison to attend to business matters.
But should something happen to you, where would that leave House Van Jecht? You know where that would leave House Van Jecht.
I do indeed. However, I feel that the future of our very valley depends on this mission. There are forces at work that I am only just beginning to understand, maybe even not that far. We believe that this stream was sabotaged. We believe that there was someone who came from outside our valley to interfere and cause these mutations we've been seeing. So we must find out why, and we must find out who. Otherwise, we may be in for a long struggle.
Still don't see why you must be the one to do it, but I understand the potential urgency of this.
Well, if we're speaking frankly, part of it is that I am bored out of my britches, hanging around this town looking for this individual. I feel this is a way that I can serve House Vanject, despite its dangers.
Well, should it come to that, I certainly hope you are able to travel safely. Dangers abound in the mountains.
Well, the first step is getting permission. If I don't get permission, then none of this matters at all. So, we must convince my grandfather. Feel free to write several drafts of the letter we've just written up. Find the wording you think works best and is most likely to convince him of what I want. And if he does not give me his permission, I will hold you personally responsible.
Maybe, Jay, you could mention in the letter dictation that we have more information coming.
In what form?
We're going to try to ID the body.
Thought you were just going to bury the body.
We're going to try to ID the clothes.
Or the clothes, yeah, sorry. We're going to bury the body, but we're going to ID the clothes, and that might glean some more information, and then... In other words, maybe your next letter's going to be more convincing than this one.
Yeah, so maybe we hold on to this draft, and then once we talk to the seamstress, or the seamster...
Yeah, and Zara's research could also glean some stuff.
Right, that's true.
Yeah,
okay.
It sounds like if he's hard to convince, why don't we go with our best foot forward, like we've fully researched the situation.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good idea.
Like, if we have an inclination as to what the enemy force is like, maybe he'll understand the gravity of why we need to send an expedition.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, so we'll wait till Zara does her research until we have any more information about these clothes. I'm
just getting the feeling that it was a great letter. I'm just getting the feeling that it might get kicked back.
Yeah. And this is kind of a do or die thing. You're right, we have to be as convincing as possible, or else I'm not going to be able to go. Because Verrol he won't disobey.
He won't sign the field trip permission slip.
right, exactly. So yeah, true. Okay, yeah, good thought. And so I'll end scene and go to bed. Or maybe we'll go down and talk to some of the locals before bed.
All right. Morning comes all too soon, especially after a night of drinking with the locals.
Carousing.
Yeah. And the three of us make our way back to the Ebonvale estate.
All right. So Verrol's awake and heading over to the estate, but Kardain, I would like you to make a fortitude save.
Oh, okay.
Yikes, dude.
Something's wrong with me.
That's a spicy meatball.
There's some bad mushrooms.
No circumstance bonus, just straight fortitude?
Yeah.
Okay, this is a +5. We'll see how I do. Oh, wow, 24. I choked down all the puke I was about to unleash. I feel right as rain.
Okay, with the 24, you wake up this morning feeling much better than yesterday. You don't feel so sick and weak anymore.
But I don't know what was wrong with me. I feel fine.
We're going to have to listen back to the tapes to see what you ate.
Yeah.
Or what you got slimed with.
I look at Braun. Braun, did I eat the mushrooms? I can't remember. Does he console me?
Ron just kind of shrugs his shoulders and
I don't know.
Boop, boop, boop.
Reaches up and pats you on the shoulder.
Thanks, friend. You're always there for me. Maybe he gave me several tummy rubs while Kardain has been having, like, stomach issues.
Well, it hasn't been stomach. It's just been muscle weakness and...
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Some...
Dang, dude.
Some fever, possibly.
Oof.
Well, you're better now, it seems. So... Everyone meets up at the Ebonvale estate. The servants let you in, Verrol, and your retinue. Tebriel is not with you, unless you have any particular reason to keep him around. Tebriel is going to head back to Chepworth soon.
What?
Unless you request that he stays.
No, I request that he stays until I hear back from my grandfather. Or else maybe he could deliver the letter.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
That could work.
Yeah, that's nice to send an emissary that was literally there.
Yeah. because he'll have more information if my grandfather should need it.
He'll agree to that as long as he's not staying around for more than a day or two longer.
Yeah, it won't be longer than that.
But he's still not coming with you to the Ebon Vales.
Yeah, that's fine.
Stoke probably isn't either, so I think it's just Arath.
Yeah, Stoke is going to take a load off for the morning.
So the servants let you in, and you meet up with Zara and Kardain.
Oh, Verrol. Hey.
You look like you were just about to sit down to breakfast.
The foul smell catches your nostrils as you walk past the entryway.
My, what is that awful stench?
Oh, I still haven't cleaned the animal we brought. Planning to do that, and haven't done it yet.
Well, unfortunately, I left Stoke at home.
Oh, that would have been fun. We could have cleaned it together, yeah. I thought that was the plan.
Yes, well, he needed to sleep in a little this morning. You notice that I'm in, like, a little bit more formal, like, dressed-up clothing, not my, like, traveling clothes, since we're hanging about town, and I need to look my best.
Are, like, the sleeves even poofier on this one?
Oh, yes, and the collar's even rufflier.
Didn't think it was possible.
I can't even imagine. I'm just puffier, rufflier. Are you not wearing the dueling cape?
No, I still have the dueling cape on.
That's like fashion and function at the same time.
Yeah, right. It's dual-purposed.
Literally.
Are, like, the shoulders puffed with air that's, like, keeping the puffage?
Oh, no, it's just naturally poofy fabric. It's taken from the finest sheep in all the land.
I'm imagining more like the slit sleeves.
Yeah, right.
The one color inside, and then it's got those strips that are kind of poof out that you can see through.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
totally.
right, like-
the Shakespearean kind of.
That's nice. Do you have a hat that goes with this getup?
I probably do, but I left it at home.
Kardain spits in his hand, and then, like try to fix my hair a little bit.
Slicks your hair back.
Slicks back his hair.
Like, up my game, because I see that...
Yeah, feel underdressed.
All that this does is I just get some nasty, like, dirt or something, like, into my scalp.
Into your hair. Well, not much different from usual. So, shall we break our fast?
Yes, indeed. Please do come in. I suppose the servants will have some extra food for you.
Indeed.
Servants.
Yes, you informed them last night that Verrol would be coming, and so they have prepared a sufficient serving for everyone.
All right.
So you enjoy a nice hearty meal.
What's the meal like?
It's standard breakfast fare.
Fosdale Valley
Special.
pancakes or
Yeah, the local delicacies.
Yeah, it's a little Rudy Tooty, fresh and fruity.
sausage links.
The Grand Slam breakfast.
Probably something comprised mostly of grains. Like, there's lots of, wheat fields and stuff around here, lots of that sort of thing. And fish and freshly harvested vegetables.
I check them for mutation content.
Mutation content.
Here, let me make a roll.
So as we sup, I ask these two if they filled in Lord Ebonvale on all of the particulars of our journey.
Yes, I told him everything except about the strange corpse that we found, the strange clothing it was wearing. I thought you might want to be the purveyor of that information.
I would like to speak with him about that.
You'd like to purvey?
I would like to purvey.
So you arrange for another meeting with him sometime this morning?
Yes.
And eventually you're allowed into his office once again.
I stride in boldly, I shake his hand, and then I lay gently the skull from the set of bones down on his desk.
Is this a threat?
This seems like a threatening thing.
Greetings, Lord Ebonvale. This is an intruder to our valley, and this is what has become of this individual. We found this body in the location where we also found the ley line, and I would like to know whether you are familiar at all with the cultures of the surrounding lands. And I take out the tattered fabric that the body was wearing. And I say, this fabric appears strange to me. I'm unfamiliar with it. But I was curious to know whether your listenings have yielded any information thereof.
Well, first off, Lord Ebonvale doesn't seem quite as put off by the skull as you might have expected. He's certainly surprised, but he just doesn't have the shock that you might have thought.
Or wanted. Verrol probably wanted some shock value.
Definitely wanted to get his attention. He's sitting here in meetings all day. I wanted to liven things up a bit.
He takes a look at the fabric. This is certainly not a pattern I am familiar with. I haven't seen anyone make clothing like this. It's quite possible that it came from outside of the valley.
That is our suspicion.
I am no expert in fabrics in particular, but I deal in many goods as I have trading relationships with most of the towns around the valley. And I can say that this is not a fabric that I have traded in.
I see. So with all the trading you've conducted, you've never seen its like. Well, this, if nothing else, seems to confirm our suspicion. Rather concerning.
Yeah, and we know it's not ancient because both the skeleton and the fabric would have disintegrated by now, right? We don't think it's that old.
No, this seems recent. He examines the fabric and kind of holds it between his fingers. This definitely isn't what you would expect to find rotting on some body that had been lost for decades.
Indeed. Lady Zara, have you uncovered anything as yet in your research regarding the ley lines?
I don't know, because I haven't asked the DM yet about the results of my research since yesterday.
I see.
Were you researching yesterday, like into the night?
I was planning to, yeah. Or I don't know if I even had time.
I thought that's what you're... Sorry, if I misconstrued, I thought that's what you were going to, spend the evening researching after you talked to your dad.
Yeah, I was planning to.
I mean, you haven't gotten very far in your research, but you've seen the name pop up a couple of times, and it seems like they're associated with a group of dwarves who lived in deep caverns under the mountain somewhere.
Before the sundering?
Yes.
Okay.
So she hasn't disclosed this information, because, I mean, I'm a dwarf.
Well, I mean, I just asked her the question, and the DM is telling us what she found, so presumably she is now telling us.
Yeah, exactly. I'll repeat that.
Okay. Kardain is gonna sift his mind. Mingoldar, dwarves under the mountain. What kind of a roll or check would I make?
Recall knowledge?
Yeah, would I be able to do such a thing?
Recall knowledge society, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there's got to be some sort of check that would help me as the player to know if these are or aren't dwarves that Kardain knows about in his, lineage, or were they neighboring dwarves to where I'm actually from?
You are aware of a few different tribes that lived, or clans, I guess, of dwarves that lived in the mountains. Some were on the surface, some were underground. Some of them were very deep underground. You're not sure what this one might be, which one of those.
Okay, so I asked Zara, were they deep or deep dwarves?
It hasn't specified in what you found yet, just dwarves that lived under the mountain.
Okay.
Well, Zara, I could tell you what I know about the dwarf clans around the mountains. I mean, I'm a living, breathing dwarf. I mean, if you'd like, we could do a real interview.
A real man on the street interview?
Dwarf on the street.
What? Yes, a real dwarf on the street. What do you know?
So, like I was just saying, I know some of the dwarf clans around. I could even share which one I'm from, or I'm an open book. What do you want to know?
I don't know much about you at all, really, Kardain, come to think of it. What clan are you from?
That's a great question, Dungeon Master. I don't think I named the clan that I'm from.
Clan Deep Fury, perhaps?
Is that a family name or a clan name?
Well, so that's a family name. That's up to the DM if he made it into a whole clan or if it was just my family's name.
That's probably just the family name.
Yeah, I would imagine it's the family name.
Yes, I haven't had much time yet, but I'll continue seeing what I can find and perhaps uncover some more information.
In any case, Lord Ebenvale, not to use up too much of your time, the primary reason for this meeting is, of course, as you know, to dispense with the contractual agreements for the growth. Arath here has told me that things are moving quite smoothly, and I believe there are a few papers we must both sign in order to make this whole thing official.
Yes, of course. There is one other matter of business. I have assembled the list you asked for. From your tone during our previous meeting, I suspect this is something that it would be best not come back to me, so I ask that you refrain from mentioning my name should anyone question where you learned this information.
But of course.
Fosdale often receives guests, but most are regularly scheduled merchants, farmers who live nearby, or others who are familiar in the area. Present company and companions excluded, There have been few unknown visitors to Fosdale recently. You will find the information here. Dorian hands you a small, folded piece of parchment.
And I'll tuck it into my waistcoat pocket.
Pearl Vision knows that the new year brings new resolutions. But how many of those goals do we actually keep? Hitting the gym? Ugh. Sticking to a diet? No thanks. But getting your eyes checked? That's easy. Visit pearlvision.com to schedule an eye exam and get a new pair of glasses to see clearly and look your best. Pearl Vision accepts all major vision plans, including iMed and VSP.